Hey, welcome to the CMM's Mudkip Division semis in the playoffs. I could have worded that a little bit better. um, I'm recording my audio with a microphone attached to my hat. So, if this sounds terrible, or you can hear every little breath I'm making, maybe it'll be funny. I don't know yet. Yeah, we're playing Gokey again. Um, Obviously, last time Toxic Rogue came through. This week, we're playing a new team pretty much. Not really. He made a few transactions, but I mean, I can't abuse the Toxapex the same way that I did because he swapped it for Swampert. But other than that, it's pretty similar. Okay, this week I'm doing post commentary because the weather was absolutely terrible. Like, it was pouring down rain. And also, I don't know if it was the weather or some other stuff that was going on, but I pretty much just had lockjaw and wasn't saying a single thing. Like, I was just playing the whole game with my jaw clenched, and I really didn't talk very much. But yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so he brought Colossal, Spectrier, Swampert, Clefable, Conkeldurr, and Deoxys Defense. That's pretty much what I expected. My plan the whole time was to lead off with Zoroark. I'm running Swords Dance. I was assuming that he would lead off with Deoxys Defense, so that was what the plan was. I was a little bit surprised to see the Swampert. I was more so expecting Zarude. I thought that it looked a little bit better, but other than that, that's about what I had assumed would come. And I wanted to disguise as Donphan because I was either expecting Deoxys to taunt or to Thunder Wave, and it can't Thunder Wave Donphan, so figured I'd get taunted or maybe just knocked off. But I can take either one of those. And that is what we didn't want to see, really. In my head, I was assuming that this would be Terra Water for my Volcanion. It would take a Steam Eruption or a Flamethrower, and it would get the Steam Engine boost. And be very fast. But I was kind of panicking, because I really wasn't expecting this to lead off. I was a little bit scared of the Meteor Beam, but more than anything, I was really hoping this would just be a switch and not a Terra Water. These other Terras were Fire and Grass. But right now, I'm like, okay, he can't really assume that this is Donphan. He has to at least consider that this is Zoroark. So maybe we can work with that. So I just go for a Swords Dance, hoping there's a switch. As you can see, there was no switch. And it's Terra Grass. Was not on my bingo card. If I would have thought about it, I probably could have guessed at Terra Grass instead of Water, but I really thought it was going to be a more... I mean, it is a more offensive set. It's running Terra Blast. But I really thought it was going to be more of a Steam Engine sweeper than a... By the way, spoilers, this is Flash Fire, not... I don't have any fire type moves to really hit it with anyway. But it's Flash Fire, it's not Steam Engine. So now I'm a little bit panicked. I'm trying to think about what the heck I'm supposed to do here. I don't really have a lot of mons that want to come in on this. And assuming that it's Flame Body and not Flash Fire, I don't want my Roaring Moon to get burnt. which would otherwise be a free switch into a Terra Blast or a Flamethrower. And then I just kind of panic pick Chestnut. Obviously, if it goes for a Flamethrower, that would hurt quite a bit. But instead it went for Power Gem. Maybe assuming that I would swap into Roaring Moon and it would take a not resisted hit. Okay, and now I'm like, okay, well I went into this because I panicked. So I need to switch out into something else now. I end up picking Sylveon because the special defense is highest on Sylveon on my team. So I figured if it wants to throw something at me, this would be the best thing to get hit by. But they just switch into Deoxys defense. So I actually said I'm going to go for a Wish, try to get my health back on my Zoroark. Then bring it in against the Deoxys. Sets up rocks against me as I wish. And I'm like, okay, well, do I live a hit after I take rocks damage now? So I'm like, okay, if I slow Baton Pass, then Sylveon can take whatever hit, and my next mon can get healed. Get critical hit, Psychic Noised. I send Zoroark back out. And, it Baton Passes over the heal block. I did not know that it could do that. Had no idea that was how that worked. A real bummer. Really could have used the health back on this. But, heal block just totally shuts that down. Go for Poltergeist because it's still going to do a lot of damage. It's Cassib Berry. I kind of thought that it could be either that or Colbur. But, yeah, I kind of made that move. Not quite hit as hard as I wanted to, and I lose my Zoroark for it. I think it would have been better to not be in with Zoroark and maybe save it for later, but oh well. Because now I just lost my immunity to Mach Punch and to Shadow Ball. So I'm thinking about Iron Crown because it's got weakness policy. I'm hoping that it has knockoff and clicks it. I'm looking to see calcs and things. If anyone ever wonders why these battles take as long as they do, it's me. I take a little bit too long to decide like everything, but I'm going for the agility, hoping that I get knocked off, and then I'm +2 in speed, special attack, and attack. Which theoretically sets me up for success. Unfortunately, it's running Nightshade instead of knockoff. So, just totally destroys that plan. So now I'm like, oh well, you know, I can still do some damage. While I still have +2 in speed. Pretty good for a crit. But much more specially bulky than I thought it was going to be. And now my Iron Crown is a couple of hits away from dying when, if I had saved it, I still could have got my weakness policy off and it could have actually done something. So I realistically, I think after I saw Nightshade the first time, I should have swapped immediately and tried to preserve as much health as I could. So I decided to swap into Moon. Can take a Nightshade, can take a Psychic Noise if that's what it decides to do. I'm figuring it's just going to recover at this low health. Because I really didn't think the Tachyon Cutter would kill it the rest of the way anyway. Or I guess that it would swap. I was not expecting a Swampert switch in though. Figuring it's pretty physically bulky, so not a lot I can do, and if it's ran specially or mixed, it could have Ice Beam, or I don't know if it still gets Hammer Arm. I know it's Mega Head Hammer Arm. It might still have Hammer Arm, but probably not. Either way, I'm not going to be able to do very much to it regardless, so just you turning out. Did decent damage. Pretty easy chestnut switch in here. Obviously, if it's Ice Beam, like I said, it's gonna take a lot, but it'll be alright. But it just ends up flip turning. At that point, I'm kind of like, okay, I guess it could be choiced. I'm not too worried about the Deoxys, but I am gonna be underspeeding it, so I can't like take it out now. I'm just gonna have to swap. Assuming it goes for a Psychic Noise, Roaring Moon's just a fully switch-in. Free switch-in. Yeah, and it just goes for Recover. Which shows off all of its moves, so I know it doesn't have Knockoff and I know it doesn't have Superpower. And I know it doesn't have an item anymore, but Knockoff's still stab and off of a Roaring Moon, so still does good chunk. But you just click Recover again. Maybe hoping that I was just going to U-turn, but at this point I'm just going to sit here and spam Knockoff. I have choice locked into it, so either that or I switch, and I don't really want to switch anything into this. I think at this point he's probably going to assume that I'm choiced. That's probably what he was realistically checking for. Oh, well. Maybe I miscounted it. Either way, he's running very low on recovers. So, I mean, I'm just going to sit here and PP stall him out because he might have pressure, but Knockoff has a lot more PP than Recover is. There he sends out the Clefable. Knock off whatever item it has. It's leftovers, which makes me think it's probably not Magic Guard. Now I just have to switch out because I'm 4 times weak to it, and I'm pretty sure he can tell that I'm choiced. He just goes for a wish. Probably because I couldn't stay in no matter what. So I go for a wish of my own. She goes into Deoxys, which receives the Wish, and also puts pressure on me again with Psychic Noise. So now I'm just trying to figure out, well, what do I do here? Because I can swap into Whirring Moon. It's the only thing that can receive the Wish, really. But decided to go Dawn Fan. So I can set my own rocks up during this whole switch out exchange here. Take a pretty good chunk from that. Oh, right. I wanted to rapid spin. I'll weigh the hazards, not necessarily set them up. Well, I want to do both. But I know that the Deoxys can't take me out. So I felt like I could pretty freely just set up my own rocks here. I also was thinking that Spectre could have also switched in and just blocked my rapid spin. Yeah, I just don't have very good switch-ins for this. You can tell I'm just scrolling up and down on my, my options. Just decided to go with the most specially bulky thing I can. And because this hit should get me below half, that'll get my Citrus Berry. Just decide to go for a Hyper Voice if he wants to swap, he swaps. Get a huge crit on the Colossal. And then it reveals it has Heavy Slam. So, Terra Blast, Power Gem, presumably Flamethrower or Fire move, and Heavy Slam. Just gonna decide to try to get off the Wish before I die, because then it'd be stuck in there with Colossal. But yeah, it doesn't work out. He reads it. Great play, by the way. Because that could have got me more health back on like anything, and that would have been pretty detrimental. But makes the smart play and swaps into Deoxys instead of taking the bait and killing Sylveon. But thankfully, I can get my Roaring Moon healed because it's immune to Psychic Noise. And now that I've seen him swap into Clefable on this, I'm gonna assume he's gonna do it again, or I'm gonna hit it really hard with a U-turn. And at least know that it's not going for Psychic Noise. I really thought about Iron hitting here, but if he stayed in, I would just be kind of stuck and then he'd start wearing me down with Nightshades. Okay, big critical hit U-turn. Just instantly swap out into Iron Crown because I'm not seeing myself getting a Wish up really. And this is definitely the best thing I have in a Clefable. Yeah, I don't really feel like trying to make a read or anything, especially because my other moves just aren't all that strong. So I'm just gonna go for the Tachyon Cutter. I really thought about Terra Blasting if it swapped into, or if you swap into Swampert, but it didn't really feel all that worth it. And that does absolutely nothing. Just decided to go for the easy switch in. Goes for another flip turn, and I'm still kind of thinking could be choiced. Back out another Colossal, which at this point is getting pretty low. And I do have rocks up, and I noticed there's no rocks damage, so this is heavy duty boots. Trying to decide whether or not I think he's gonna try to take out my chestnut, and then I'm like, oh well, he could burn me if he flamethrowers me, or if he procs flame body. I don't even know that body press did enough. Honestly, it probably didn't. I eventually just decide on risking it because I know I can at least eat a flamethrower. Which I take pretty well, and I don't get burnt for it. And it just barely survives. From that range, it doesn't really look like a roll necessarily. But I figured it's either like Heavy Slam or a Power Gem, so. And my Donphan is pretty fast. I mean, regardless, you'd have to have a pretty fast Colossal to outspeed even no speed Donphan, but yeah. Pretty big hit there. Was not expecting another flamethrower, and then I get burnt. So isn't that just fantastic? I was just gonna go in, rapid spin would kill, and I'd get rid of the rocks. But now, I can't guarantee that. In fact, I'm fairly certain that rapid spin does not kill. Earthquake might not even kill from there. So I just decided to go for the rapid spin to get rid of the rocks. Also, it's revealed all its moves, so for sure doesn't have rapid spin. I know that it's going to flip turn. It's flip turned every turn, so I kind of think about swapping here. But I just kind of decide that I'm just going to try to get as much damage off as I can. And that probably would have killed if I was not burnt. Especially after rapid spin chip damage on it the turn prior. Without being burnt. Deoxys is back. At this point, Clefable's at about half health. And so I'm debating back and forth on U-turn and knockoff. But with Clefable as low as it is, yeah, it can wish up, I guess, but I hadn't seen any reason to think that it can take rocks into 2 knockoffs. I mean, it probably can, but yeah, Deoxys just resets the rocks, and now I have no way of getting rid of the rocks. So I'm just gonna go for it again. And here comes the Clefable. It's actually a little bit above half, but now it's definitely below. And I see how much damage that does, and it is not enough for another knockoff to kill. But I'm thinking, they probably think I'm gonna switch out, so maybe I click it off again, but I ain't risking that. Roaring Moon's like my only good piece I have left. Throw Iron Crown back out. Should be able to clean this up with a Tachyon Cutter. Yeah, then I'll start looking at Terra Blast again to see if maybe I can kill it with Terra Blast. So if Swampert does decide to switch in, maybe I can also clean it up with a Terra Blast. Just the regular normal Terra Blast also, not the Terrifying Terra Blast. That would obviously not kill the Clefable. Because if the Swampert switches in and catches that Wish, it's kind of not good. So I do just decide to rip the Terra Blast. And it reveals that it has Protect, so that did nothing. And now the Clefable is back up to above half. And now I'm like, okay, well, at least the Swampert won't be at full health if it's the one that switches in here. He does just decide to sack off the Colossal. Put in a lot of work early game, so definitely did its job. Here comes the Spectrier, not Boots, Broken Focus Sash if that's what it is. I clearly can't stay in here. I'm like, oh man, Shadow Ball just takes it out and then it's at +1. Definitely don't want it to start snowballing out of control. This is also like one of my only safe ways into getting rid of Clefable. Even though it's in such low health, I still think this thing has some amount of value. So, predicting a Shadow Ball, I go into Chestnut, it's bulletproof, so it's immune to Shadow Ball. I can take a Draining Kiss, if that's what I went for. But it's a substitute set, with leftovers. So now, I mean, I really don't feel like I have much of a choice. Just kind of gotta get rid of the substitute and not let it stay behind it. Gets back a lot of health with the Draining Kiss. I guess all the rest of it. But I do break the sub. And so it can't set up another one. Yeah, I just kind of have to do that. It is now at +1. but it's not behind a substitute at least. Unfortunately do not have any other option but to swap into Wall-Wing mode. And through the last turns I do take a little bit of time just thinking about, oh man, this Conkeldurr, I have absolutely no answers to Conkeldurr. Or Conkeldurr, whatever you want to call it. Conk. Big Conkster. I am Choice Scarf, so outspeeding the Spectre is going to be no problem. But again, I'm just sitting here looking at my HP and just calculating the Mach Punch, and I don't have enough HP. So I do get rid of the Spectre. And then the Conk just kind of comes in for free. My only hope here was for like, and even then I don't know that it was realistic, was for like the lowest possible roll. And that I can knock off the Flame Lord before it gets Guts boosted. So then maybe Sylveon can also get the lowest possible roll, and Sylveon can come in and take out the Conkeldurr with a Hyper Voice. And then just maybe Iron Crown can do enough to win the game. Of course, it just takes me out with one Mach Punch. I think it was like 55 to 65 was the roll about. But looking at my HP bar, I don't know that I was above 55%, maybe. But there was just no way I was going to be able to pull through that. Then I just have to go into Sylveon and hope that he just makes a really stupid play and just lets me kill it. Or I might have wished, I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, Quick Attack could do damage, but it's not going to do anything. I think realistically, the only way I won that was to Hyper Voice there, but I mean, it wasn't going to matter. And then, you know, 41 HP Crown didn't really cut it for the most part. Yeah. But, GG. I know Gokey was feeling kind of sick whenever we played this, so, hope he feels better. And I wish him luck in finals. But yeah, he definitely outplayed me for the most part. For the most part, he pretty much outplayed me every single time. I think there were a few ways around losing the way that I did, but at the end of the day, at a certain point, I was just kind of over. I've got some more stuff coming up. Be ready for that. Catch y'all later.